Sorry, from 17 once again. This is my Metal Gear Solid 5 S-Rank walkthrough. We are on episode 18, this is Blood Runs Deep, and thinking about this level now with everything that I know, there's a chance you can probably no-trace this encounter. Because the guy you have to get gives you enough space to hold him up and extract him, so that means you don't have to fire, and then after that, you don't have to do any shooting really if you play very, very well and you infiltrate the camp. But you'd have to take the boy out via the much tougher lane because you wouldn't be able to destroy the landing zone unless you went there in free roam, destroyed it then, and then took the mission, because then it would be out in the mission and you wouldn't have to deal with it on site. So, feasibly, you could do that. The problem then is there's all those people outside where the chopper lands, and how would you do that? I don't know. Maybe you would have to go the creek route and just stealth it and get really good at that. I suppose I've got a lot to learn about this level, as I nearly get spotted right at the beginning there. Because once again, daytime is brutal at certain moments. And I'm not wearing the cleverest camouflage either. But it's all good. There are times when I get lazy with the camouflage because I wish you could change it on mission, like you can in Metal Gear Solid 3. I think that was one of the best parts about 3, even though I thought it took too long to keep going in the menus all the time. That being said, my first playthrough of that game, that's what I did. Every time the geometry changed and the terrain changed, I changed my camo, and I never resented it. I just thought it was cool as shit because I spent the entire time on my belly. And there was something cool about that. It made every infiltration feel like you'd earned it. Because it took a long time, you had to be methodical, and it just felt so good. And then, of course, once you learn how to play that game a bit better, you learn that you don't even have to crouch half the time or lay down. You can do a lot of it just running if you know what you're doing. But that comes later. So, I'm taking you on a pretty slow path here, and I'm the architect of my struggles right now, because I was the one who orchestrated this mess to make it so that I couldn't just swiftly get into this village. I'm almost certain you can probably ride your horse through that left-hand side and get real close to this village without having to mess around, but my walkthroughs definitely have an honesty to them. I like to get a strategy, and I like to show it, warts and all. As long as it works. If it doesn't work, and if it's just something that's predominantly chance or luck, I generally don't really like that at all. Which is one of the reasons I don't like bosses that rely on that type of stuff, but fortunately, there are certain, expectations with bosses that you come to realise you're going to have to play luck and bullshit on some of them. Which is currently what I'm doing on on Gears of War, the remake. I'm still trying to beat Ramon insane, because it's just, that fight, dude, it's so stupid. It really is. And it's one of those things where sometimes you can have a really easy pattern and you can smash him, and other times he's the hardest thing in the world. And I've never liked that fight on Insane. Never. But this is not that game, this is Metal Gear, so get on your belly, start crawling. That right in front of me, you might be panicking, but it's a decoy, don't worry. The decoys are one of those things that once you start to be able to see them, they're amazing. So I go down into stealth mode here, and then I trank him. This is where I could have gone round and put him down with a command. Because if you look, there's nobody around him, so nobody would have heard the demand, I don't think. There's the chance that somebody could have, but I think we would have been okay. So I pick this dude up, and I'm going to move him towards an area where there's not too many guys, where we've got some cover, and where I can get him out without people noticing. So I walk over here. We hear the opening lilt of one of the cassette tapes in that room. I drop him down here, and then I exfil him. And now we have to get to the mine. So I really like the mine. Thinking back to when I recorded this, I'm really curious as if there's a way to get those people that are at the door, where the kiddies are, away from that door, because there must be 5 guys there. 5 guys in a decoy, no less. And that's a lot of people guarding an area. And if you think about it, you can probably reverse engineer your way into that place by running past them the way that you take the boys, and then going in through that other entrance that leads into the cave. So that's one way in without going through that doorway. But it still doesn't alleviate the fact that there's a shitload of guys on that door. I don't know. As I look at Quiet and she gives me the thumb up. Does she thumb up me? No. She doesn't like me enough. So when you ask her name, if you look at her, depending on your bond will depend on how she acknowledges you. She'll sometimes just look towards you like she did just then. She'll do the thumbs up. I'm not too sure what she does with the higher bond because I never really paid attention, but I'm sure she does something nice. Maybe she gets her boobs out, that'd be hilarious. Although Kotaku would be all over that shit, wouldn't they? None of the men do this! Why would the men do this? I say that though, but I do agree with one of the things they brought up with their sexist allegations towards the game, which Metal Gear series has always had this because the women are treated differently than the men in it. It's just fact. A lot of the cinematography, when Quiet is concerned, it does do, shall we say, rather lecherous things, and it doesn't really do that on the men. It does it on the guns. You notice that? It over-sexualizes the guns, but not the men. It makes me wonder, you know, if Hideo Kojima was gay, if it would be different then, that if there would be more lingering chest shots on Snake and shit, and, like, I don't know. Because if you think about it, and this is something I didn't realise until my girlfriend mentioned it the other day, Snake's got a pretty good ass. We spend a lot of time staring at it when we're crawling and things, and I've never even spotted it because I don't look at it like that. I'm unfortunately, you know, men are cool, but I don't really want to touch them. So I didn't even realise, but my girlfriend did immediately, and it's just that thing of, wow, yeah. Maybe the gameplay in this game is sexist towards men because it's just one big ass celebration of Snake, and then the cutscenes when Quiets are involved is sexist towards women because all it ever does is show you like underneath boob or lingering boob shot that then tracks up to her face and stuff, which... There's one part of me that wants to get all defensive in the whole, when did we become so neutered? You know, when did we start listening to society when they tell us that nudity is bad and that we should cover ourselves up? Like it's some kind of act of contrition because, you know, religion ruins everything. Like, when did we become that? Just, when did we all become eunuchs? You know, we've got no balls, dude. We're just... And I don't understand it, you know. I think the female form is beautiful. I think the male form in some ways is beautiful, and I'm not ashamed or guilty that I like them. Because when you think about it, they're all we really have. You know, it's our effigy for the small amount of time that when we're here. It's the thing that drives our ego. You know, it drives our mind around, it drives our perspective, our perceptions, so I don't get this, like, oh my god, we can see this girl, it's lingering on this beautiful girl, like, she's fucking beautiful. And there's probably plenty of beautiful men that it doesn't linger on, and in that side I suppose it is a little bit biased, but I don't... There's a part of me that wants to defend it, even though I can understand it and I can see it from the other side. But I think when you go into something with those kind of things on your mind, it can definitely warp your enjoyment and your perception of what games are. Like, I don't think I've ever thought about a shirtless hero doing things as some kind of exploitation of him or some kind of objectification of him, even though you could probably argue that, because it's almost societally viewed as powerful and edifying, which when a girl does it, it's somehow whorish and slutty, yet why? I know I'm looking. Like, I know I'll probably miss something really important because I'm too busy appreciating, even when I don't want to. Like, you know, you're biologically wired in a way to appreciate the things. Like, there's a reason when you bring a mare into a stable and there's a stallion there that he starts going fucking nuts. It's not because, you know, he wants to. It's because that's the way he's wired. And I hope it works both ways. I hope there's, you know, a fruitful relationship between horses, but I know nothing of them, so I'm not even going to talk about it. But Kotaku seemed to be very quick to judge that kind of stuff. Like, they were very quick to judge Bayonetta that way, and you might be wondering why I mentioned Kotaku. Well, it's not because I have any respect for them, any journalistic integrity. I think they're pretty much a shit show, but if you want to hire me to write some manly pieces, I will gladly do that. No, I think it's a magazine that's looking for controversy wherever it can find it, and when it can't find it, I think it tries to dig it up, and I think that's the worst kind of thing, because there will be people that will be offended by Metal Gear Solid. Definitely. There always have been, there always will be. But then again, there are people that would be offended by a fucking Christmas card. Like, everybody will take offence at something. It's just the way that they're wired. It's just one of those things. Everybody is different. And the people looking for that probably shouldn't be playing. It's just that simple. But with Bayonetta, it was... I've always thought that Bayonetta was over-sexualized, but she owns it. She makes it herself. You know, she is the dominant one there. She is the one who is the conqueror. You know, it's not the men. She's not just eye candy. She is the driving force there. So as much as they like to put out this perspective that it's completely against, you know, women, I don't think it is in that respect, because I think that Bayonetta is better than all the men in that series, because she is. Like, she's stronger, she's more confident, she's more powerful, she's more beautiful, like, she's all these things. And sure, there's some questionable Japanese angles in there that might not be the most tasteful, but she doesn't care. And she's probably not aware of them because it's like just totally fourth wall breaking, but it's that thing where she owns it. And, you know, I don't think she was abused as a child. I don't think she's got daddy issues. I just think she's lived long enough to realise that these preconceptions we've got over flesh are essentially things that we were taught. It was ingrained shame passed down to us by other people, by other people's prejudices. And, like, if you don't believe that, look at children. Children don't have it, guys. Children don't have any of it, because they're as close to, you know, the tabula rasa as you can be. We learn that bullshit. We learn fear, you know, we learn those kind of judgments. For better or for worse. All we have at that moment is, like, the most deepest reptilian part of our brain telling us that, like, that's probably dangerous, you should kill it. And, you know, stirring in your tummy when the echoes of the reproductive system are thinking about moving forward towards a time when you can actually do what your species is meant to do. But enough of that, whatever that was we just did. This is the area I was talking about. There is a gate to my left, and then there is this just cluster of people in front of it that never move. They don't go anywhere. So I'm trying to think, how would you make a distraction here to move these people? So my first thought is, you detonate the C4, it blows the tower, it pulls everyone's attention back that way because there's an explosion and they don't know why. But if you do that, no traces is gone. So you can't do that. So how else do you do a distraction? Well, you can't use your horse, I don't think, because I just don't think it's enough of a distraction. You can't trank them all, because once again, no traces is gone. You can't hold them all up because they're too close, and guaranteed one of these dudes will challenge you, so that means you can't hold him up anyway. And how do you land a chopper here when there's this many dudes waiting for it? I don't know. Once again, folks, I really have to study this mission and figure this stuff out. But what I'll do is, I'll see what the guide says, because the guide is terrible for trying to do things really, really well, but it's okay for doing things, you know, okay. So, it does have S-rank strategies, and we'll see what the walkthrough recommends. So, here we go. It's going to be 2 lines, don't get your hopes up too high. Oh, that was a horrible noise. Ugh. Stop it, Cable! Stop dragging on the page! Rescue the intel, here we go. Mission 18, Blood Runs Deep. So, where is it? There's actually a few pages for this mission, so it is one of the more in-depth ones. Here we go. S-rank strategy. This is what the people who are officially licensed by Kojima and his friends and his team and that to work for this game. To obtain an S rating based on pure speed, quickly eliminate the former Mabelli soldier in the plantation, then rush to the mine. So immediately, that's 10 minutes of gameplay they've completely skipped over. If you destroy the local anti-air radar, you can create a new landing zone which you can use to extract the children in record time. So once again, those 2 bits of advice there have ruined your no trace bonus. Alternatively, once you have the child-compatible Fulton, you can extract them... Oh, that's it! That is it, guys! I completely forgot about that. Good guidebook. So that's what you do. You hold up the guy in the first camp, you Fulton him, after you can't carry him away though, so you have to Fulton him there. That could be the tricky part. Maybe he has a pattern where he moves enough distance away so that you can do that, and then that will work. Then you sneak here, you sneak into this place, and you Fulton the kid at the end of this tunnel. And then you just stealth the way out as best as you can. That's how you do it. And you can get every single kid out before you trigger the whole enemy forces to follow you from behind. And that will be a no trace bonus. That can work. Nice. I might try and do that tonight. Then again, I don't have the upgrade. Shit. It takes so long to get things. Yeah, I don't have that child upgrade yet, but if you do, folks, try it out. I bet that is one way of getting a really good score on this mission. But I'm going to be going it differently. We're going to be tranking people, and we're going to be getting on a chopper just outside this doorway. So this is a guaranteed S rank, and it's a pretty simple strategy to follow, but it's not going to be as good as the one I was just mentioning. Also, I have a really tough job here shooting these people, but I get mega lucky. The final shot that ruins the suppressor hits the guy but doesn't knock him out. See, how is that not a headshot? There are moments where this aiming on this game really frustrates me, and I appreciate that there is bullet drop, and depending on the level of your pistol will depend on how good it is with its effectiveness over distance. But still, fuck that shit. God, I miss Metal Gear Solid 3. I can't remember if 4 had this bullshit in it, but the one thing you don't want in Metal Gear is that kind of nonsense. Like, it even works. It works this way with all the weapons too, and I just don't think it benefits anything. So I just destroyed the anti-air radar there. I could have done that maybe before I exited this room, and maybe all these people here that I tranquilized would have ran to the radar. That could be a good thing to test out. But I'm trying to get this out as quickly as I can, folks, and I've had 2 days off, effectively, because I've been busy with other things, and those other things were 100% more important, because they were live things, and live things come before YouTube at the moment. That being said, I've had all this footage ready to go but not commentated, so it's really frustrating that I've had all this awesome content to share with people, because it seems like people are really resonating with the project and it's helping folks, but I've not been able to get it to you thanks to, you know, every variable that makes it difficult to do that. Variables that I cannot wait to get rid of, and I am working feverishly to do so. But that's all those people for. The good news is, this enables me to get some people for my base. It enables me to, you know, put a dint in my developments, and we also get a nice S rank, so I'm going to pick up some stuff as well, you'll notice. You haven't seen me do much of this. On your first playthrough, you should do this all the time. Picking shit up is one of the more fun aspects of this game. However, when you're rank running, none of it will help. All it will do is lower your bonuses, so you want to be quick. As the guide said, speed is a really good way of getting S ranks. Speed can completely bandage over mistakes. Same with accuracy. If you're accurate and you get that high accuracy bonus, it's pretty crazy just how much it can add to your score. And when you bear in mind you only need like 130,000 as a base level to get a guaranteed S rank, you're doing okay with those bonuses. Like, look at the time bonus. The time bonus is 100,000 alone. Like, insane bonuses. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.